This is Tony Arricchetti, and I wanted to just provide a brief tutorial on developing your literature review. I know some of you have already done this, or may be in the process of doing it, or are revising it. So here's some further thoughts on how to do this. Thesis development really derives from your identifying a problem, an issue, and a need, and these have taken many forms. Many of your projects are pretty interesting. So, for example, with Renee, he's developing traumatic brain injury training with the question, can it be improved by using standardized patients? So that's identifying a need in the field and proposing a solution using SPs. And with Kelly, she's proposing a meta-analysis of the literature on team steps because it really hasn't been done up to this point. So the reason to do a literature review, of course, is that it provides academic support for your idea. It's not just your idea, but it's also reflected in the field itself. So you want to just be able to, as they say, stand on the shoulders of giants by citing people who have already worked in your field of interest or something related to it. So the lit review really is a summary and a synthesis of the sources that you're reviewing, and the literature review really requires a minimum of 10 to 15 articles that you would review and summarize, and perhaps more, because there might be a lot written in your field of interest. Synthesis might also be called for, that is, a reinterpretation of the sources, questioning their validity and so forth. It might also trace the intellectual progression of the field or the topic that you've discussed. Now, if you're going to do a literature meta-analysis, that is a review of the literature in the field, that itself is a research project, and it requires as many sources as relates to your topic as you can find, and with a much heavier emphasis on the synthesis part. So you want to really critically look at what's been written and critique it, analyze it in different ways. I'll be happy to talk with you about this once you have all your sources lined up. How do you analyze the literature? So one of the issues that comes up a lot is what if there's a dearth of literature on my topic? So the thing to consider is what's already been written about in related topics. So, for example, Kim is thinking of working on a project involving self-directed training of laparoscopic skills. Now, what if this hasn't been done before? You may not find anything directly related to this topic. What you would then look for example, might be, what does the literature say about self-directed training? Where has it been done before? What's been the success of self-directed training? What is the upside of self-directed training? What's the downside? So you might want to just simply look at something more general relating to whatever your topic is if you can't really find much about it. One thing that's always helped me in reviewing literature is to keep this in mind, that it's really all made up, that everything that's written on a topic has been invented. These are constructs, and part of our job is to critique the constructs, to critique what's been written, and in particular, I think what's important is to look at the method section. How did people come up with their data, and not just jump immediately to the results section, but what kinds of subjects did they use? How robust was the data collection and analysis? And don't be deterred from critiquing it just because a famous person has put their name on an article. it's all made up, as most things are in life. So, related to your literature review and your thesis in general, I just would refer to the old joke: "How do I get to Carnegie Hall?" Practice, practice, practice. In our field, it might be more revise, edit, and you may find that it's not done until you've looked at this thing and revised it literally 30 or 40 times. So a good thesis is concise, well edited. You want to start writing, but then you want to start paring it down and making it more clear and sending it off to me and others to have a look at it. So with that, I just wanted to say thanks, and I hope this helps.